Hey everyone, before I get started, I do want to say I am not affiliated with Superior Fireworks, Great American Fireworks Company, PyroBoom, or any of them. I am not getting any financial support, any kind of kickback. I have bought all of these things with my own money, and it is money that I think has been really well spent as well, which is why I want to go into this review of the P1200 control deck, the R12 remote igniter from PyroBoom, the P4s, the R4s, and give you an idea of how I work them into my show and get everything together. So when I was looking to get DR11 mortars, everyone was saying PyroBoom is a great place online, that Eric has great customer service, awesome product, and just do it. So I went there. I got 50 HPDE tubes that I built my 50-shot rack with. I bought a couple of his pre-done racks, and I was looking at the remote igniters, and I was like, well, maybe, well, for $33, why not do it? And I picked up an R4, which is a little 4Q remote igniter. Comes with a little remote with a cover that you can fire off 4 individual separate Qs by turning this thing on. Tried it out on a couple little shows, really liked how it worked. The talent igniters worked great. I actually fired multiple talent igniters at once on it by wiring them in parallel. So on one Q, I'd have 2 cakes that I'd want to drop at the exact same time. Hit the button, both cakes went off every time. It worked great. So then I wanted to expand to be able to run a little backyard show, all told. So I got the P12 system, which is 3 more of these and a 12Q remote, all synced up and tied in together. So now I had 16 Qs, 2 remotes to work with, could really expand and do that nice, quick, fun shoot, trying out different cakes and getting everything to work. Then I wanted to start doing a bigger show, and I was looking at the R12. Can fire off 12 Qs all off of one box, and the thing I really liked about this as well is it has a sequence firing as well if you're in F2 mode, which is you can set the time for each of these separate Qs to be how long you want it to wait to fire. So on each of these Qs, I set the time for how long the cake is going to last, and it will then fire the next Q. Now, you do need the P1200 control deck to run this, and you just sync it to this one for the district you want, which this one right now is District 1. It's Qs 1 through 12. If you're on District 1 here, it will fire this remote. But if I hit the sequence button now, while this is in F2 mode, it will fire 1, wait 15 seconds, fire 2, fire 3, fire 4, and just keep going with this time that you have set in here for each of the cakes and fireworks that you have. It works outstanding. And you can also chain multiple of the R12s together, that if you were doing the sequence firing, as soon as 12 fires, right now I have Q12 on a 25-second delay. It would wait 25 seconds to send to the input over here to fire 1 on this one. And then 1 right now set to wait 21 seconds to fire 2. and then it would wait 15 seconds and fire 3, 20 seconds, 22 seconds, and keep firing the next unit, all with just hitting this one sequence button on the P1200. Now, that isn't how I've actually been doing my shows. So what I've done is, and what I like, is I have my District 0, 12 queues. I have my District 1, 12 queues. I picked up 4 more of the P4s and have them all mapped to District 2, 1 through 12, and District 3. The one limiting thing with the P1200 is, you know, while you're running the show, you gotta remember to switch your district, and if you've got something else that you're trying to fire off, you don't have a lot of flexibility if you gotta jump districts because of it. So I took this R12 remote, paired different units to it, and now with these R12 remotes, if you notice, I have 2 of them set for 1 through 4. That's so off of this remote, I can hit number 1, and it's firing both of these channel 1. So I have these set at full opposite ends of the field. They're a good 35-40 feet apart with barrage candles that will shoot up in towards the middle of the field and give a nice effect. Then 5 through 8 over here, I've got single shot things to add little effects. I always kick off with a candle rack, and so I just hit 5 on this. I let a candle rack of 30 Roman candles go with reports, with balls, with crackle, and that gets everyone's attention, lets them know to come, focus, let's watch the show. While the barrage candles are going off across the field, I hit some crackle balls on 6. And so you get the candles coming up, you get the bright flashes of the crackle coming in on the middle of the field, and I do those for each of my barrage candles. I've also got this one sitting off to the side that if I have a misfire in the main show, if something doesn't go off on cue like it's supposed to, or the air's not as full as I want, I can really easily grab this remote and say, okay, bring 9 in to help me out. You know, let's fire 9 off, get that cake or those shells up in the air, and I don't have to switch districts on the P1200 in order to do that. You know, I can still keep this going with, okay, I just fired 1, I just fired 2, or I've got the sequencer running, and this is just on autopilot. So, the last show I did, where I really got to test this system out, I had 47 separate queues running, and, you know, I fired my candle rack, my barrage candles, I did my crackle chain, then 001 down to 0012, I shot 11 cakes off. The timing I have set was as soon as Pulse Pounder went off, which throws up like little mini salute-like shells, instead of having the 30-second delay, I did a half-second delay, so once it was firing, it went into a 36-shot rack, so both of them were firing off at the same time. When that rack finished, I went back to my little remote, hit the next thing of barrage candles, fired off a crackle chain. I had plenty of time to switch my district over here to 1, hit the sequence, and then this sequence is the Spirit of America by Superior Fireworks, Great American Fireworks Company. Love this 12-pack assortment of 200-gram cakes, and at the end of this video, I'm actually going to cut out that part of the show, so you can see all 12 of these cakes firing. 4 minutes of uninterrupted fireworks, and I could just sit there and watch them go as well. I didn't have to hit a single button. I sat back and watched. And it was just set up that it would fire 1, it waited the 15 seconds, which is how long Silicon Valley lasts, and then it would fire American Revolution. Waited 15, did Declaration of Independence. And I'll put the cakes in order in the comments on this video, so you can kind of play along, but there's not a delay in it. This system just kept everything firing just the way I wanted, and it looked perfect in the show. I really like this system. I really like the cost of entry into it. Now yes, adding this all up, yep, I've spent, let's call it $100, $200, $300, $400, $30. And I ran a show like I never thought I could, sitting in a chair, 150, 200 feet away, still had plenty of range, I just ran out of room, and got to enjoy the entire show thanks to this system. And this is 50 plus queues for the $500, and I do have another R12 coming, so I'll be up to, add another $100 on it for this $98 unit. It is an amazing system, really lets you actually be able to enjoy your own show as well. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about them. You can cross pair these, you can easily switch this out. Like, if I wanted to put little effects on this, just tie it over to this remote for a show. I hit the sync button. Once it's in sync mode, I hit the button of the remote or the district I want to pair it in, and it's live, it's ready, I can now use it for that. It's really versatile, and like I said, I loved having the two sets of remotes too. The 1200 control deck to do the main beef of my show, but having that cross field support and on cue effects, fill in a gap if I need it, it really worked outstanding. And like I said, you'll see the sequence fire of these 12 cakes, where all I had to do was switch to the right district, I hit sequencer, and let this do its work. And it did its job perfectly. So anyway, you're going to see the Spirit of America assortment fire next, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it was somewhat informative and not me just rambling. Have a good one.
Oh, that's a little right. These were awesome.